Hello, sports lovers. Welcome to Mess Sports TV. The long-awaited grudge match between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury would be happening next week, Saturday, at the Diara Arena. This fight promises to be exciting at the level at which both boxers are. But the fight actually is not the focus of this particular episode. This particular episode seeks to focus on the statements made by the WBC president Mauricio Suleiman, stating that they would rank Jake Paul in the WBC ranking if he's able to secure a victory over Tommy Fury. This has got a lot of industry players criticizing the decision of the WBC. Spencer Ferron has done so. Carl Froch has called it a clown move, and promoter Eddie Hearn has said it's not right, it deserves to be ranked but not in the top 15. Eddie Hearn, we all know boxing promoters are hypocritical. I'll not go there. Now to the substantive issue. Jake Paul is an undefeated fighter, 6-0, so is Tommy Fury. But does Jake Paul deserve to enter the WBC ranking? We'll take a look at the opponents of Jake Paul. Then we take a look at the WBC last 5 rankings. That is from number 10 to number 15 of the rankings of the WBC as at February 2023, and see if that is deserving of Jake Paul to enter those rankings. So before I get into the career and the opponents of Jake Paul, please do me a favor, subscribe, press the post notification button, like, leave your comments below if Jake Paul should be given the nod in the top rankings, and also share so others can enjoy. Thank you so much, and I'm most grateful. Now let's take a look at Jake Paul's career. Jake Paul undefeated, 6-0. Tommy Fury undefeated, 8-0. The focus is on Jake Paul and not Tommy Fury. Jake Paul made his debut when he faced Ali Gab, a fellow YouTuber, and they were both debutants in the fight. Jake Paul was victorious in the first round. Then the train continued and stopped at the doorstep of Nate Robinson, a former NBA star whom Jake Paul faced on his pro debut, and Jake Paul was victorious in the second round, and that was a spectacular stoppage. And the train then moved from Nate Robinson to the doorstep of Ben Askren. Then this was the first time Jake Paul was facing someone with a combat sports background. Jake Paul had first 2 opponents did not have any background in combat sports, but Ben was a former MMA star. Jake Paul managed to stop him in the first round, though it was the pro debut of Ben too. Now, meaning after 3 fights, Jake Paul has faced 3 debutants. In the 4th fight of Jake Paul, he faced Tyron Woodley, who was also an MMA star and making a pro debut in boxing. Tyron and Jake Paul fought to a split decision, a fight in which a lot of people think Jake Paul should have been stopped if Woodley had pressed the action, because he had Jake head on the ropes and he could not finish Jake off. But let's give credit to Jake for showing resilience and toughness in that particular fight. He rematched Woodley after the Hakeem Rahman fight did not manifest. Then he rematched Woodley and stopped him, I think, in the 2nd round, right? He stopped Woodley. No, he stopped Woodley in the 6th round. And his next opponent after Woodley was no other person than the Spider, legendary MMA fighter Anderson Silva, a man whom Jake had admired since his childhood. That fight went all 8 round, split decision. Anderson Silva was coming into that fight with a 3-1 record, having a credible opponent in the person of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who was a former world champion. So the time they were fighting, Anderson Silva had beaten a former world boxing champion. Anderson Silva was about 36 years old. 47 years old when this fight manifested between him and Jake Paul. So these are the opponents of Jake Paul in 6 fights. Now, let's look at the number 10 ranked person in the WBC who goes by the name Yamil Alberto Peralta. Yamil Alberto Peralta has a record of 14 wins with 1 defeat, and he is contesting for the WBC South American Championship in his next fight in March. So I think this guy is a credible opponent, ranked number 10. His name can't be taken off and replaced with that of Jake Paul. Oh, but the condition remains: has he been paying his sanctioning fees? If he's paying his sanctioning fees and doing everything right, VADA tested, then he can't be taken off the rankings. Then number 11 is Michael Perez. Michael Perez is from Cuba but resides in Ireland. Michael Perez has faced the likes of Carlos Takam, which he ended draw, but he has a record of 27 wins, 18 wins by way of KO and 3 defeats. So Michael is a formidable opponent. He is 37 years old, the rebel, but he is a formidable opponent. He can crack enough to stop Jake Paul if they enter into the ring. But I don't think this guy, if he is paying his sanctioning fees, should be taken off the list. So would Krzysztof Vlogadic, who is a former world champion himself. This man is a warrior. 61 wins, 41 by way of KOs, 4 defeats and 1 draw. You can't take him off. He is a former world champion, and he has recently been in fight, though he is 41 years. Then to the Irishman Tommy McCarthy, who had a back-to-back loss with Bellingham Smith somewhere last year or last 2 years, but he has a record of 20-4, and he is ranked number 13, and that is decent enough for the 32-year-old Thomas McCarthy. 14, Michael Chekslak. Michael Chekslak, the first time I watched Michael Chekslak was when he faced WBO cruiserweight champion Akoli, and it was a very exciting fight. That fight I thought would end in about 7 rounds when Michael was hurt in the 5th round, but he showed a lot of resistance, resilience, heart and gut, continued and went all 12 rounds with Rollins Akoli. He has a record of 23 wins and 2 losses, so this man can't be taken off the list. Now, who is the number 15? The number 15 person is Andrew Tabiti. Andrew Tabiti has a Nigerian origin. Yes, he has parents from Nigeria. He is also a phenomenal boxer. He is also the former sparring partner of Anthony A.J. Joshua. He has a record of 20 fights, 1 defeat, where he lost to Doctor in that fight was in Latvia. That fight was in Latvia against Doctor, as they call him, who is also ranked in the top 10 of the cruiserweight division. Andrew is 33 years, who last fought on the undercard of Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk in Saudi Arabia. So all these guys seems to have a better record than Jake Paul. So now I beg to ask, if all these guys have not failed a drug test and are paying their sanctioning fees, whom will be taken off the list to give way for Jake Paul to enter? Yes, that is the question. Whom will be taken off the list for Jake Paul to enter? Or someone among the top 10 would be taken off, then the rest are pushed forward, then Jake Paul enters. Because the WBC is coming across as just money oriented. We know boxing is business, but but the wellness or the promotion or the growth of the sport should be the priority of governing bodies. Yes, the growth of boxing should be the priority of governing bodies. With this record, I don't think Jake Paul 6-0 surpasses any of them. Even if Jake Paul becomes 7-0 against Tommy Fury, he doesn't deserve to enter into the rankings of the WBC per what I am seeing and what is presented to me. Yes. So the WBC are just looking at cashing in on Jake Paul's pay-per-view money. That is how I see it. Mauricio Suleiman has seen that Jake Paul is making wave, is generating a lot of money, and at this time he gets the backing of the WBC in order to gain credibility. Then the WBC profits from the fights of Jake Paul. But let me ask, will Jake Paul be part of the clean boxing program if he is rated or enters the ranking of the WBC? Will he be part of the clean boxing program? All these are questions we must ask as boxing fans, because the sport is being controlled by few people. These are some of the reasons why I have been advocating for boxing to have a superior governing body that supervises the activity of all commissions and sanctioning bodies. Yes, we just like FIFA in football. FIFA's decision supersedes that of the UEFA, the CAF, the English Premier League, and etc. Because FIFA is the utmost body, and FIFA is the person whom the rest of the governing bodies report to, and FIFA are the lawmakers, and any law that does not conform to that of FIFA becomes null and void. So I think it's time boxing gets one governing body whose law stands supreme, and we must start pushing for justification in written form for the rankings. When you rank a boxer, you must justify why that boxer must be ranked for it to make sense. It must not just be at the discretion of the commission's members. I like this person, I don't like this person, so I vote for this person to become number 3. If you are voting for that person to become number 3 ahead of someone, you must write a report to justify that, so that with time that report can be compared to others, and if that come across as bias, you can be sued or taken on by the higher body of boxing. So this is my take. Mauricio Suleiman is looking in just to cash in on Jake Paul's prominence and money making now in the world of boxing, and that is unfair to boxers who have been putting their life on the line. Not to say Jake Paul has not put his life on the line. Jake Paul has shown a lot of bravery and guts over the years stepping into the squared circle, but there have been people who have done more and deserve to be there now more than him. He can't be there, he is going there. Or maybe Jake Paul can call out Andrew Tabiti in his next fight. They put it on. If he succeeds, he takes out Andrew out of the top 15 and he enters. He should fight someone who is ranked, because from Ali to Anderson, none of them have ever been ranked in any governing body's ranking. None of the fighters Jake Paul has faced has ever been ranked. That is the second reason why I think Jake Paul does not deserve to be on the list. The first reason is it's unfair and stalls the growth of boxing, and the second reason is that Jake Paul has not faced a ranked fighter in even, let's say, top 30 of any governing body, shape or form. So for these reasons, Jake Paul does not deserve to enter into the WBC's top 15 ranking. This is my take. Let me know yours. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, press the post notification button, like, comment, share. Thank you. Remember, there is no limits to greatness.